Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, whatever time you are watching and or listening to this. Welcome back to another episode of Drive Time Crypto with me, Crypto Chris. As always, this is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. I'm just aiming to bring you the latest news and events that's going on in this wonderful space that we love and know as cryptocurrency. If you'd like to help support the channel in a free way, if I could ask you to give me a like to this video, if you could tell me how my audio sounds in the comments, because I've played around with the settings a little bit more. I'm trying to tweak it just to see if it makes it a little bit better than the video yesterday. That'd be great. And if I could ask you a massive favour, if you haven't done already, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be really appreciated, as I've got a benchmark of 300 subscribers, which will then unlock the feature to allow me to have Drive Time Crypto as my YouTube channel title rather than a long web address. So yeah, please, if you could tap that subscribe button, that'd be really appreciated. With that being said, let's start the episode, start the engine, and here we go. So the first pit stop is price news, as always, and there is pretty much the same sentiment out there today as there was yesterday, although when I did start this episode I had a quick look at the prices and the Bitcoin has had a bit of a knockback down to 55,000, which isn't a great deal, but yeah, a lot of the websites are still very, very positive about Bitcoin. It reads, these on-chain metrics paint a bullish outlook as Bitcoin crosses 57,000. Bitcoin 60,000 resistance hints at a buy the dip opportunity before all-time high. And the total active Bitcoin entities increased by 19% in October. It reads, the on-chain activity of Bitcoin has recovered quickly in the last 2 weeks. The total active Bitcoin entities and the average transaction size have increased sharply since the start of October 2021. The recent weekly on-chain analysis report published by Glassnode shows that a total active Bitcoin entities reached 291,000 during the recent week, which is up by nearly 19% compared to the start of October. On the other hand, the median Bitcoin transaction size has jumped above 1.3 Bitcoin. So yeah, there's a lot of price and money flowing into Bitcoin at the moment. There's almost like these confirmations that are needed. We've got to hit certain price ranges for people to go, you know what, yeah, this is on. We are in a bull market. 60,000 seems to be the next one, although we've found the level of support at 57, albeit I did say we have just dipped down to 55, but this could be that buy the dip moment because we've taken a slight go back down before we go back up. But yeah, there's a lot of money going into Bitcoin at the moment, which subsequently, as Bitcoin has been rising, normally as that rises, it brings everything else with it, like the altcoins. But for some reason, the altcoins have been stagnating and they've not really been rising, and they've actually been kind of sideways trending downwards, not massively, but nevertheless, they're not increasing like Bitcoin has. So you tend to think that at the moment, maybe altcoins are being sold and that money is now going into Bitcoin because people are anticipating through all this good sentiment that we are around for takeoff. And yeah, that's why them prices might be stagnating a bit. But as always, as the price of Bitcoin goes up and there is this signal as such, because we've hit a certain price range, that then once we're in this bull run, people will then start taking profits out of Bitcoin as the retail FOMO in and start buying in and thinking, oh, we can't miss it, oh, we're off to the moon, and everybody starts piling in with more money. People are going to then take profits out of it, and then they're going to put that back into the different altcoins at the lower prices, hoping that as the money then recycles from the all-time high of Bitcoin, it will then carry on falling down and trickling down into the altcoins, and then you will see them go on their bull run. We're off to the moon on them. So yeah, I'm not surprised that the altcoins are down a bit, and I'm expecting the money to recycle into them once we've hit these confirmations in the Bitcoin. There's been, yeah, like I said, quite a few websites. Bitcoin Shocktober continues to outperform altcoins en masse. There's this Shocktober kind of phrase being bandied around, and I touched on it yesterday, and that's this whole, because it's finite Bitcoin and there's more and more being bought and taken off the exchange than the supply and demand, and this is what's putting the price up. So they nicely coined it Shocktober. And here's another one, just to go into why the Shocktober. Bitcoin whales have scooped up nearly 4.8 million in Bitcoin since September bottom. Reads Sentiment. Bitcoin's recent price surge continues to be a whales market, according to the crypto analytics firm Sentiment. Sentiment notes on Twitter that whale addresses holding between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoins have accumulated 85.7 thousand Bitcoin, which we touched on yesterday. So yeah, it's the sentiment's the same, the price predictions are the same. There's not really much more price news out there. There was a little bit. So yeah, Ethereum will be the next cryptocurrency to explode, says Hive blockchain chairman. This kind of stating the obvious. Bitcoin at the moment, it's on the up. Ethereum's again sideways, downwards a little bit. And now they're saying it's going to be the next to explode. Well, if Bitcoin hits these confirmation marks and it does set off to the moon to set up an all new time high, and who knows what price it'll go to, and it depends on which website or which technical analysis you look at. The sky's the limit, really. But if you see Bitcoin start to pump and to break out into these all new time highs, then it's obvious that Ethereum's going to follow it. It's not just going to sit there stagnant. So yeah. And when Ethereum does well, you'll notice that because of so much stuff that's been built upon the Ethereum blockchain in regards to the altcoins, then as Ethereum does well, then it's the altcoin season and the altcoins start to pump as well. So yeah, it's a bit of kind of stating the obvious. I think that they just wanted to put something out there that wasn't just Bitcoin news. And yeah, like I said, it's stating the obvious, especially with the fact that Ethereum's being burnt at the moment. If you're not quite sure what that means, they did a upgrade recently, and that means that every transaction, instead of all the reward going to the miners that are validating the transactions, part of that gets burnt, and that means that then is taken away. It gets locked away. It can no longer be used, and that's gone forever. As it stands, there's $1.7 billion worth of Ethereum that's been burnt and locked away and never coming back. So that makes Ethereum deflationary. Just like if you get a country that's printing lots of money and it weakens their economy, if you are burning that currency as such, then it makes it stronger because there's less, and we go back to the supply and demand. So yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory why it would be the next one to break out. And then in sort of price news really, but touching on XRP. XRP scores major win as active addresses hit new all-time high, the driving factors behind the surge. Now, the surge, you have seen the price go up a little bit with XRP. It has seen a nice little bit of an upturn. It's sideways back down now recently at the beginning of the recording this, but yeah, it's a good sign that people are believing in it. There's obviously the lawsuit going on with the SEC at the moment and Ripple, but that's not really, XRP, I'm not going to go into all that between Ripple and XRP, etc. But yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of good news about XRP. Touching on Ripple signs an exclusive ESG partnership worth 44 million. So Ripple being the ones that help develop the XRP ledger and do upgrades on it, etc. So the leading blockchain and cryptocurrency solution provider, Ripple, announced a strategic ESG joint investment worth 44 million with Nelnet Renewable Energy into one of Nelnet's solar energy investment funds. According to the press release, this multi-million-dollar joint investment fund aims to finance solar energy projects throughout the United States and further enable the adoption of sustainable energy-driven future. And this was quite popular news. Again, it's just they see it on this one. So there's good news about Ripple. There's good news about XRP. Normally, when you see the good news, the price goes down. Can't explain it, it's not logical, but hey, this is the market that we're in. But yeah, it's nice to see there's good news anyway about XRP and Ripple. But as for price news, that is really it. There wasn't that much about the prices are relatively the same as what they were yesterday. So unless they're going to carry on rehashing what they typed up yesterday, I wasn't expecting too much price news difference on the news channels. So with that being said, let's pull away from this pit stop and price news and let's continue the journey. Next pit stop is Coinbase news. Coinbase plans to launch NFT marketplace. Coinbase NFTs allows users to mint, purchase, showcase and discover non-fungible tokens on the soon-to-be marketplace, according to the company's blog post. Now, everybody's trying to get into this. If you are not doing NFTs, if you're not doing smart contracts, DeFi, you're going to get left behind. So it's only a logical move that Coinbase start to offer this. If they didn't, then yeah, they're going to lose a bit of market competitiveness because there is always going to be somebody that does it. And the NFT market is massive at the moment. You've got CryptoPunks, Kitties, and as I was saying, other people are doing it. You've got the Cardano blockchain, and recently, so you've got Cardano Beavers, which are a kind of, I suppose, that their version of a CryptoPunk or Kitty as such. But yeah, all NFTs will run on-chain via Ethereum-based ERC-721 and ERC-1155 standards, but the company has plans for a multi-chain support in the future. The NFT space generated 10.67 billion in trading volume during Q3. Wow. I did not know that was much money was flowing through NFTs. I knew it was a lot, but 10 billion. Just imagine all the stuff. Just imagine if you had £10 billion now. Imagine all the stuff you could buy, all the stuff you could do. And that's just in NFTs. And that's not total volume. That's just in NFTs for Q3 of this year. An increase of 704% from the quarter prior. So yeah, if you're not in this space, in the NFT marketplace, then yeah, there is, me personally, it's just an opinion. If you're not in this space, then there is a good chance you're going to get left behind, because if you can't operate what others are offering, and with it having such popularity as it shows with that kind of trading volume, then yeah, you're setting yourself up for a fall, really. In other news relating to Coinbase as well, Coinbase to facilitate crypto payments for music artists with the latest partnership. So this was popular news as well. It's come from the news channels about Coinbase. Coinbase has announced its executive partnership with American music distributor United Masters to enable choice of cryptocurrency payments to artists for their music they create. According to Coinbase recent blog, the partnership will not only financially empower the music creators, in fact, it will also decentralize the economics of the music business. The United Masters artists will be in charge of their earnings after the crypto partnership. The artists will decide whether they would be prepared to be paid in full or in part in US dollars or in cryptocurrencies of their choice, further facilitating an autonomous payment system for their employees. And the blog mentioned that the artists will have Coinbase's full set of product offerings at their exposure, including spending, earning, trading, borrowing services. So another great smart move by Coinbase here, and to offer them all the services as well, because let's be honest, music is already digital and has been for some time now. The actual physical sales of music, albeit they are there, and especially in the kind of the vinyl movement and people that like to buy vinyl, that's still very strong kind of purchasing of a physical product. But a lot of music you don't actually purchase now. You just purchase the streaming package, and it's all digital. So to get paid for that music in a digital currency, it kind of makes sense. It's just natural progression, just like it was natural progression from a CD to an MP3. This is the same for the money that's involved in it now. And it's coincided nicely with Coinbase going after NFTs, because there has been albums that have been launched as NFTs. Kings of Leon did one, for example, but I think that's just the beginning of it, and there's a lot more to come. And my opinion or my thoughts, or when I've thought about different things that could be done, then because you are buying digital music and you don't really have anything to show it's not a physical product, then this ties nicely into Coinbase's NFTs, because then these artists may be able to sell a album cover as an NFT, and it'll have a serial number on it. So when you buy the album, if you get a low serial number of this album cover, then it could be worth money. Or there could be, just like the NFTs that are on for sale now, it has certain attributes that make them more rare, and if they're more rare, then there's more money. You could have the same kind of process and thought process of albums. So if you sign up for a pre-sale, there might be 10,000 album pre-sales with an album cover, and all 10,000 album covers are going to be unique, and there'll be some that are more rare than others. And then that's another way of creating your own kind of ecosystem as an artist, that you can then offer value back to your fans as such. Because back in the day, you used to buy music, and you might buy a certain limited edition album, but then it might have a printing error, and there was only 100 of these made where it had no track listings on, for example, and they'd be worth a bit of money, and then maybe the artist stopped performing, or sadly the artist passed away, and then they go up again in value because you had this physical kind of product. Now, this is the way of taking them kind of attributes and putting it in a digital format, and I think it times nicely. And with the fact that Coinbase are going to be doing NFTs, and now they're going to be doing this, I think it's all going to tie in nicely together, and I'm excited to see what comes out of it. And yeah, I think it, like I said, it wraps up nicely. So that's all the Coinbase are doing NFTs, and they're going to be letting artists get paid in crypto. Yep, here it is again. United Masters will let artists get paid in cryptocurrencies. I'm not sure which artists are on that, but yeah, good for them. Hopefully they have a lot of album sales, and hopefully it's a lot in cryptocurrency, and hopefully they start pushing these kind of NFT ideas. So, and with that, that's the end of the Coinbase news. Let's pull out this pit stop and let's carry on the journey. In the next pit stop, this is the do as I say, not as I do. And it's all surrounding Jamie Dimon. If you do not know who that is, it is JP Morgan's CEO, and very much a figure of dislike to cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, and it reads, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin worthless, asserts regulation will kill it. This was popular news. I don't understand why it's popular news, because if somebody doesn't like the space, just ignore them. We don't need Jamie Dimon. Granted, he is a very powerful figure, and he, in the fiat fiscal kind of movements, he's one of the biggest players, obviously. But if he doesn't like this space, he hasn't liked this space for some time now, and it's never really affected it in the past, so why he keeps on getting airtime, I don't really know. But he's again not feeling Bitcoin, calling it worthless, and says that the 21 million cap of Bitcoin is uncertain, even though the market remains bullish. And here it is again. JP Morgan CEO says Bitcoin is worthless. It's quite funny, this one, because yeah, there's now this kind of feeling that whereas was talking about certain confirmations needed in price caps for Bitcoin to understand that we're in a bull run, apparently one of the parameters as well is that Jamie Dimon has got to come out and slander Bitcoin, basically, and until that happens, it's like Christmas can't happen without Die Hard and that iconic scene. So yeah, it's quite funny that it's now being seen as that, and there's the spin to make it quite a positive thing, even though whatever he says. But he's been saying it for years, as you can see here. If you can see that date, or those that aren't watching, this was on the 12th of September 2017. It says, Jamie Dimon, Bitcoin is a fraud that's worse than tulip bulbs. And when he gave this infamous speech in 2017, there is a nice picture there that for the people that aren't watching, it shows that the price when this article was published, Bitcoin was sat at $4,232. Now, with the cryptocurrency and people thinking that it's a fraud and it's all speculative, blah, 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 etc., etc., then the thing is, everything's a bit speculative, and you can say the same thing about gold. You don't really hear Jamie Dimon coming out and saying, oh, gold, it's a fraud, you shouldn't invest in that. They have many EFTs that follow gold prices and let their wealth investors invest in that, and precious metals. But it's quite funny that in 2017, if you bought a ounce of gold, it would have cost you $1,350. At its current price, you can get an ounce of gold for $1,293, meaning that if you invested in 2017, if you listened to Jamie Dimon and went, okay, yep, no, you're a man of education and distinction, and you've made a lot of money, and you speak wisely about investments, I'm going to pull my money out of Bitcoin right this second, and you took your £4,232 out of Bitcoin and you put it into gold, you would have lost money. And if you had left it in, yeah, well, with the price of what it was when I started this video, you'd have made roughly $51,000 on this fraud scheme. So yeah, Jamie Dimon is predicting good things. But the reason why I started it off with do as I say, not as I do, is because JP Morgan, those again not looking at the screen, on July the 22nd, JP Morgan to give all wealth clients access to crypto fund, as reported by Reuters. So it's I don't understand how the CEO of a company can actively come out and say how they don't believe in such a thing so passionately, and come out with quite strong terminology to then also let the company allow their own clients to invest their money in such a thing that is so bad and is a fraud. When you're the CEO of a company, your job is to protect that company, to make it good, to make savvy choices. So if you think that something's a fraud and you shouldn't go anywhere near it, to let your company to then let your customers use this kind of fraud, then I just doesn't match up. It's all a bit strange. But yeah, that's the JP Morgan news, and to a lot of people, that's another great bullish sign that we are in this bull run, because JP Morgan, not JP Morgan exclusively, but their CEO believes that it is a fraud. And sorry if you just heard me playing with my pen, I didn't realise I was fidgeting then with it. Anyway, with that being said, that's the JP Morgan news done. Let's pull out this pit stop and let's carry on. In the final pit stop, I am going to cover the Plan B news. It's not really news, I just thought it'd be a nice thing to end on, because I know a lot of people follow Plan B and believe in what he predicts, and to a certain extent I can understand why they do. I'm not saying that you should, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but for those that don't know, Plan B is a pseudonym of a person that has predicted a stock to flow model, and up until now it's been fairly accurate. So it reads, Plan B unveils Bitcoin price prediction for end of 2021, forecasts when current crypto cycle will collapse. Renowned quantitative analyst Plan B is revealing what he thinks the end of the year will bring for Bitcoin and how much longer the current crypto bull market can last. In a new interview with Anthony Pompilano, the pseudonymous analyst known for being the first to apply the stock to flow model to Bitcoin, says that it'll be caught off guard if Bitcoin remains below six-figure mark by the end of 2021. He goes on to say, I would be very, very surprised if Bitcoin's price would be below 100,000 at the end of the year. That would sort of invalidate my views, my models, and that would certainly surprise me. I do think we will see a price that is at least 135,000 by Christmas, because that's what my floor model says. Basically, I'm using three kinds of models that all say the same thing. So yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to end on this. Obviously, everybody likes to hear price predictions and where it's going to go, and because we're in such a bullish sentiment, that yeah, this is where people see it going. Who knows? I'm not going to say it won't. I'm not going to say it will. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you know, wake up one morning and yeah, Bitcoin's at 135 by Christmas. It's like Plan B is Santa, and he's delivered us some great presents. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I understand where he's coming from though, because like I said, there is a lot of people that believe in this stock to flow model just because of how close and how true it's been up to now. If you've not seen the stock to flow, just type it in, type Plan B stock to flow, you'll see, and you'll see how remarkably close he is with his price predictions, and he's often on Twitter predicting month by month what sort of price ranges we're going to be in, and he seems to nail them as well. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I just thought I'd end that with some nice figures to aim for, should we say. But yeah, that's the Plan B news. And with that being said, let's pull away from this last pit stop and go and check the prices. So, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can see that Bitcoin's taken a 3% knockback to 55,500 roughly. So yeah, it's down by 3%. Ethereum's roughly around the same at 3,475. Binance has all of a sudden seen a jump of 8.7% up to $441. Cardano sat at the $2.14 mark, again just trending sideways as mentioned before. XRP is down by 1.75% to $1.10, and Solano is up by 6% to 140, just turned to $150. Polkadot's up by 5% to $35. So yeah, the market it's a bit up and down. You've got a couple that are in the green, which are looking nice. Others that are still sat in the red, but not really in the red. They are in the red, but they're just going sideways. Bitcoin slight knockback. As mentioned, it's as people start to take profits and risk management, etc. It's come to be expected. We can't just go on the trajectory straight up. You will see these ups and downs, and this is what markets do. So I'm not too concerned. But overall, the sentiment's good. The markets are looking good. The feeling's good, and yeah, everything's nice in the crypto space. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video now. I hope that you have a great day. Whatever you are doing, may I take this time to thank you so much for watching this video to the end. It really is appreciated. If you could give it a like, if you haven't, a comment, please let me know if you think that the content's all right, or maybe I could change it about a bit. And please let me know about my audio. And if you could please subscribe, I would be so grateful. That'd be great. Right, guys, I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you very much, and goodbye.